Our next candidate is unfortunately could not be here. However, he sent a surrogate, and we are thrilled to have this surrogate with us. She's the county chair of Somerset County. Her name is Peg Schaefer, and she's being escorted by Lindsay. Peg? Thank you, Peg. And in case you didn't know, Ambassador Phil Murphy is a former U.S. ambassador to Germany, a former finance chair of the Democratic National Committee, and former banking executive being represented tonight, as we said, by attorney Peg Schaefer, chair of the Somerset County Democratic Committee. We're going to have the candidates give a brief 2-minute opening remark. So I'm timing you, so we'll start on this end and we'll work our way down. Chairwoman Schaefer.
So I'm not running for governor. I'm here, however, because the gentleman that county endorsed and the gentleman I'm backing 100% had a long-standing family commitment this evening. And every once in a while, being a dad is more important than running for governor of the state of New Jersey. We are supporting him. I'm here on his behalf because I believe that he's the guy that has the best chance of winning in November. And, you know, we're fortunate in the party. There's nobody on this stage who wouldn't be a better governor than Governor Christie.
Nobody in the room.
There's nobody, I'm not done yet. There's also nobody on this stage who wouldn't be better than the ones the Republicans are offering to us. So as chairman of Somerset County, we searched far and wide. We looked at all these candidates. And they are all talented individuals. As I said, we're fortunate. We were convinced, after comparing everything, that the most progressive, the most qualified, the most unbeholden to anybody other than the people of the state of New Jersey is the man Somerset County endorsed. And that man is Phil Murphy.
Thank you. So the Young Democrats are here to ask questions collected from constituents in 6 categories, including healthcare, jobs, economics, environment, and education. I'd like to invite the first Young Dem, and it looks like it's Sadaf, to come up, and she will cover healthcare. Questions for all the candidates. Thank you.
So as you heard, my name is Sadaf Jaffer, and I'm running for Township Committee in Montgomery, and I'm also a member of the Somerset County Young Democratic Committee. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to ask the candidates about healthcare. The third question goes to former Ambassador Phil Murphy, who is being represented tonight by Somerset County Democratic Committee's Chairwoman Peg Schaefer. Ma'am, what is Ambassador Murphy's position on medical and recreational marijuana?
Thank you, Sadaf. I can tell you that if Phil Murphy was governor, the Vivian Wilson family would not have had to move to Colorado in order to get medical treatment for their daughter's seizure disorder. Recreational marijuana is a different story. You know, Phil and I are a generation apart. So I may or may not have inhaled, I'm pretty sure he didn't. But from the beginning, he's been in favor of recreational marijuana being legalized for lots of good reasons. One being that there's 25,000 arrests every year, primarily of black Americans for marijuana offenses. He thinks that our police officers have more important things to do, like addressing violent crime. Also, if you legalize marijuana, you can tax it and you can regulate it. And if you tax it, $300 million more can come into the New Jersey economy to deal with some of the things we need to deal with, like our infrastructure issues, and like our public safety issues, and like gun control, and our education systems. So Ambassador Murphy is in favor of medical and recreational marijuana being legalized, and available and insurable if possible.
We'd like to call up our next Young Dem, who's going to ask the candidates questions about jobs. Thank you, Lindsay.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Goodlow, and I'm also a member of the Somerset County Young Dems.
and I'm equally delighted to be here tonight to ask the candidates questions, this time about jobs. The first question goes to Chairwoman Peg Schaefer. Chairwoman, can you articulate how Ambassador Murphy sees the role of governors in creating jobs?
Thank you. So Ambassador Murphy was in fact an ambassador in Germany. And one of the things that he mentioned is that delegations came from many states to see him in Germany, to meet with foreign companies, to bring them, incentivize them to come into New Jersey and do business here. Not a single delegation came from New Jersey. Under Governor Christie, the ARC Tunnel is no more, and all those jobs, the tens of thousands of jobs that came with it are gone. Pharma is moving out of the state. A Governor Murphy understands that a budget spells priorities. His priorities will be to rebuild the infrastructure, to support education, to retain our youth, to stop the brain drain, to partner with businesses to do STEM research. He's going to encourage small businesses, and many of you have heard already, if not, you'll hear a whole lot more about it. He is proposing that we have a state bank to take the deposits that now are sent to Wall Street and invested in hedge funds and use them to partner with community banks and invest in small businesses. We invest in our people, we invest in our businesses, jobs will come.
Our next young gem will come up and talk about economics.
Good evening. My name is Pat O'Connell. I'm also a member of the Somerset County Young Democrats, and pleased to have the opportunity to ask the candidates about the economy, because I'm also a small business owner of a small tech startup company. Next question is for Chairwoman Schaefer. What is Ambassador Murphy's position on affordable housing, and what can be done regarding the foreclosed properties throughout New Jersey?
Thanks, Pat. So, a la Mr. Brennan, middle class. Affordable housing is the gateway to the middle class, in the opinion of Phil Murphy. And he believes that anybody who wants to live in this state should be able to afford to live in this state. We should be able to keep our seniors here, and we should get the millennials out of the basement. Pat, where are you living?
Well, I have a tech startup, so
In any event, under Christie, COA has failed, and there's an affordable housing crisis in this state. Combine that with the fact that we have the highest foreclosure rate in the nation. We need to look at those things in tandem and say we need to fix the affordable housing issue, and one of the ways we can do it, perhaps, is by repurposing foreclosed properties. So when a property is foreclosed, we might be able to move that into the affordable housing base. You know, I can tell you a little bit about affordable housing because I litigated it recently on behalf of a municipality, and can tell you that there's a whole gap period during which no affordable housing was created in this state. Right? I say no, very, very little. So 15 years of very little affordable housing, very little inclusionary housing, and now we've got a problem and we need to fix that problem because the Supreme Court says you have to find that housing, and Phil Murphy agrees. So there are a lot of things. I think that we need to address the foreclosure crisis independently and then look at them in tandem. So independently, we need better counseling. We need to be in a position where perhaps with the public bank, we can buy some of these properties and lease them back to the owner, assuming they're creditworthy. I know there's some discussion about whether or not there's a credit risk involved that we shouldn't take. We can partner with community banks on those issues. And we can do what's called last in, first out. So the taxpayers' money can be used, but you don't get hurt. So at the point in time when the loan is, if the loan were to go into any kind of crisis, the state would be the first one to get paid. So he's also going to look into expanding the revitalization tax credits. He believes that we should use the resources that we have at the state level to facilitate the availability of money, partnering with community banks to make loans for people so they can buy housing that's affordable, and then taking a lot of the housing stock that's out there that's laying vacant and to some extent not being taken care of, and invest in those properties and use them to fulfill the affordable housing need. Thank you.
next up, and thank each of you very much for those question responses. That concludes my part here. Margaret?
One
Wonderful. Our next topic is the environment. And it looks like Elizabeth's coming up to talk about the environment and ask the questions. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Meyer. I'm the founder and lead organizer for the Women's March on New Jersey, and also the lead organizer of the New Jersey March for Science happening in Trenton this Saturday. I am very honored tonight to be a representative of the Somerset County Young Democratic Committee, and I will be asking constituent questions on the environment.
The question on the environment is to Chairwoman Schaefer. Madam Chairwoman, what is Ambassador Murphy's position on the pipelines being constructed in New Jersey?
Ambassador Murphy is a...
Turn the mic on.
Do I need a mic? Ambassador Murphy is a committed steward of the environment. He's been endorsed by all the environmental groups in the state of New Jersey who have endorsed thus far. With respect to the pipeline east, he's opposed to it in its current iteration. It doesn't even follow the right-of-ways that exist currently, even if there had to be some kind of a pipeline, which at this juncture he's uncomfortable with it and opposed to it. That's true also of the Monmouth transmission line. And what the ambassador, I've already heard it from several of the candidates, and we agree, I think, on more than we disagree, that he's committed to developing an energy master plan. And he intends to start that within the first 100 days and complete it by the first year in office. And as I heard Senator Lesniak say, by the year 2050, we should be totally clean energy. We should be dependent, we should be working for renewable energy and dependent totally on clean energy by the year 2050.
We have one more group of questions, and it happens to be education. So, let's see who's coming up to handle the education. Thank you. You'll introduce yourself. Hold on. I don't know what happened to the mics. They were working before.
They're working, they're just low.
Hi, my name is Harry Burke. So yes, my questions tonight are about education. I'm also a member of the Somerset County Young Democratic Committee, and many of the constituents have asked about education. So Chairwoman Schaefer, what is Ambassador Murphy's position on allowing public money to be channeled to charter schools?
So this is sort of like when I show Zenon my speech and then he gets up and talks and answers the question before I get an opportunity to. Thank you, something was necessary, because Ambassador Murphy is a product of the public schools. He believes in fully funding public education. He, after graduating from public school, he put himself through Harvard and got an MBA from Wharton. Not bad for a public school education. His sister's a retired public school teacher. But with respect to charters, there are 50,000 children in charter schools in this state. He's not writing them off. But he does believe that it's a good idea to have a moratorium on new public schools, primarily because there isn't enough local control. There are issues that apparently Heston gets to sign off on charter schools. So you fill out an application, and irrespective of whether there's a need, whether there's sufficient diversity, whether there's sufficient quality in the town, he can sign off, and then the town is stuck with it. That's unacceptable. So the moratorium is a good idea, and what he would like to do after that is have all the stakeholders, get the teachers together. He's been endorsed by NJEA. Sit them down at a table and talk about how we can improve the charter school system, how we can make sure that whatever public money goes to that system doesn't penalize the public school system. Thank you.
Okay, we're coming to the close of the program, and at this point, we would like to ask each candidate to have a wrap-up statement. So if you want to take a deep breath for a moment. And I apologize about the microphones. We'll have to share microphones on the stage. Okay, I'll have my timer set for 2 minutes, and when you hear the buzzer, you can wrap up your comments. So, thank you. So let's start at this end.
I guess I'm next. So, Councilman Zinna, he did not buy my support. As a matter of fact, he earned it. And he earned it because of his story, because of his position on the issues, because of his ability to get the job done, and his relationships with people around the state that he's developed over the last several years. So let me tell you first about his story. This is a man who was born to a mom who was a secretary, a dad with a high school education, who had a bunch of jobs to try to support the family. At 13, Phil went to work to help support the family. Might have been an illegal job, which might be why his commitment to immigration and sanctuary cities is as important as it is. He then put himself through Harvard, put himself through Wharton, got an MBA, and yes, he went to Goldman Sachs. My goodness, in what world do we criticize success? Where do we decry success? Because he worked for Goldman Sachs, he worked there for 20 years. And then what did he do? He went to Germany as an ambassador at the request of President Obama. After serving there, he came back and began to give his money away. He established foundations for domestic abuse victims, for children in need, for the unemployed and underemployed. That's his story. And now he's running for governor. Yes, he's made some donations, but frankly, he made donations to me way before any commitment was made on any level for any support. His position on the issues, by the way, gentlemen, and it's hard for me to distinguish. Obviously, we all agree on the importance. We're a nation of immigrants. We want equal pay for equal work. We want affordable health care. We want women's health care. We want to make sure Planned Parenthood is fully funded. There's nothing that was set up here. There may be a few nuances to various positions that we don't totally agree on, but we agree primarily that the issues that concern the Democrats in this state are of concern to everyone. The reason we're supporting Phil is I believe that he's got the best skill set to get the job done. He's an economist. He understands how to make a broken economy work. And for that reason, and that reason alone, we're with him.
First of all, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to the Somerset County Dems, the Young Dems, which were fantastic. Fantastic job. Thank you. You know, these young Dems are our future, and we need to stand by them. We need to ask them to join us in everything that we do, because they are our future. And I really appreciate them being here. One thing I would like to just say, just a little note, I would like you to know that the New Jersey Federation of Democratic Women is an organization of extraordinary women committed to supporting each other to advance democratic political goals and ideas through networking, community activism, and engagement. Now, NJFDW operates under the umbrella of the National Federation of Democratic Women, and that was established in 1971 as a means of supporting women's voices within the Democratic Party. Now, the National Federation of Democratic Women, we gain original recognition from the Democratic National Committee, which we all know is DNC, and we currently hold one seat on the DNC Executive Committee, and we have 3 seats on the DNC General Committee. And to date, it is the only women's organization given that privilege.